Good morning students, in another class of economics. In the last class we have discussed about the contents or what we are going to learn in HS first year, that is contents or syllabus basically, that is introduction, introduction, demand, supply, elasticity, production, what is production function, and from the statistics we have gone through the portion of data, that correlation, what is basically, and today's class, this class is made for both HS first year and also HS second year, are chapter 1, that is basically introduction. So before I proceed the discussion, let me clarify one thing. That is, maybe I am not writing everything in the board. It's because of we are not in the class 9 and 10 where the teachers write everything in the board. You have to listen very carefully. And partially because of my handwriting is not that as much good, so you have may find brutal you. So if you have find anything that have, or if you have any kinds of question, please don't forget to ask me in my number 8011 7020 80. If you have any kinds of problem regarding the concept you may call me. And the other thing is I may speak very fast, so if you have find this problem, then you have the solution of its own, because you have the play and pause button. If you have, or listen playback, re-listen the previous thing. So if you have find my sentence is a bit of speed, so you may play or pause your audio. So let me start my discussion of today's discussion. That is basically introduction. I'm starting this session with the definition of economics. What is economics is actually? Economics is basically a social science which studies the individual and organization engaged in production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. So I am saying that economics is a social science. Social science. So social science, as I have told, social science is a bit different from pure science, what we have learned in class 9 and 10. Pure science is a part of physics, chemistry, mathematics, whereas social science deals with the social behavior, social relationships. So economics is a part of social science, is a social science which deals with the individual and organization, which individuals means you, me. So individual things is called individual, and group of individual is called an organization. So economics is a social science which deals with the individual and organization engaged in production to produce something, distribution after production it should be distributed, and then finally consumption of goods and services. Suppose the production, distribution and consumption, I am giving one example. Suppose this t-shirt may be bought, may be produced in say suppose Mumbai. After the production of this t-shirt, it's distributed across the state. After it's reached its state, then it's distributed across the outlets of this t-shirt, and after it's reached its outlet, we as a consumer purchase it mainly, or you can say that we have consumed it from our outlet. So what we have learned, economics is a social science which deals with the individual and organization engaged in production, distribution and finally consumption of goods and services. So what is production, distribution and consumption? I have told now it's much clear. What is goods and services? I have already discussed in my last class. What is goods and what is services? So I myself, so that is basically a definition of economics. I am repeating the definition. Economics is a social science which studies the individual and organization engaged in production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. This is basically definition of economics. Now I am coming to the what is then microeconomics. Microeconomics is the study of how individual and firms making their decisions in the world of scarcity. I am repeating, microeconomics is the study of how individual and firms making their decisions in the world of Scarcity, C-A-R-C-I-T-Y. Now the question is, what is scarcity? Scarcity is something when demand for something is greater than its supply. What is demand and what is supply? This we can learn in the next chapter, that is demand and supply is portion is there. What is demand? We will learn what is actually demand is and what is actually supply. For time being, you assume that the demand we are creating as a consumer, and supply the producer part, or producer supplied the things. Now the question is, if we consume or if we demand of a particular things more and more and more, then as a supplier, because these resources, because as we know the resources what we have are constant, so at a time will come, if we demand more of a particular thing, then at a time comes, then its scarcity problem will rise, because as the natural resources are constant, and if we particularly concentrate on the demand side and neglect the supply portion of it, then at times comes when we have the problem of scarcity. Now it's clear what is microeconomics. Microeconomics is the study of how individuals and household making their decisions in the world of scarcity. Now scarcity is clear. Microeconomics clear. Microeconomics is also called a series of constraint optimization. It is also called a series of constraint optimization. Now, what is constraint optimization? Suppose I have a desire of having everything. We all have as a desire of everything we want. But we have some problem. One problem is that our budget is a constraint. Suppose I have a desire of having Harley Davidson, but the constraint is my budget. My budget always forces me to negotiate my optimization, my satisfaction. So even if my desire of having Harley Davidson is completely rejected by my constraint, that is my purchasing power. So in that particular situation, what I have to do, I have to trade off between the Harley Davidson by other things, and have to satisfy myself. So because of my constraint, that is budget is my constraint, that force me to optimize myself with trade-off. So we are basically every time we are doing trade-off between this and that, because even if our desire of having everything is not possible because of our constraint, and as a human being our main constraint is our income. That income forces me to trade off between the two things or two or more things, and this trade-off is, and after doing my trade-off I satisfied myself. That is optimizing myself, having my constraint, that is having my 10,000 income per month, I have to satisfy myself, because even if my desire of beyond income, having my desire of Harley Davidson, it won't be possible because my constraint is my budget. So I have to trade off between the things and optimize myself. So basically microeconomics is the series of constraint optimization, and in the process of constraint optimization we are regularly trade off the things, and behind the trade off notion one important concept is called emerge. Behind the notion of trade off another important concept is emerged in your syllabus, and its most important concept is called opportunity cost. Now, what is opportunity cost? Every action or every inaction that has a cost of that you could have done something else, this is called an opportunity cost. Suppose you have listening this video, that you could have done other things. Suppose you have buy this t-shirt. Even if you bought this t-shirt by rupees 1,000, this 1,000 can be with this 1,000 you could be purchased. Suppose 10 pants or 20 pens, suppose, or 200 pens. Suppose you are listening this video, but you have done something else, but you sacrifice the other things and concentrate upon this video, because this sacrifice, every action or every inaction, that has a cost, that you could have done something else. This is called an opportunity cost. So this opportunity cost is very much important in both the year, which is first year and second year. It is most important because it solves various problems of economics. These three central problems of economics is solved by this opportunity cost theorem. This opportunity cost theorem is also involved in the production possibility curve. Suppose three basic problems. I'm coming to the basic problems of economics. Three basic problems of economics is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. This is the three central problems of an economy. This is what, how, and number three is for whom to produce. This is the three central problems of an economy. What to produce means what we are going to produce. Suppose in the Hailakandi, what food we have to produce as a farmer, whether we produce wheat or whether we produce rice. This is the first problem. Second problem is how to produce as a nation, whether we produce as a labor intensive goods or capital intensive goods. This is another problem. How to solve, how to produce, and then for whom to produce. This production is made for the richer class or upper class. If this is made for the richer class, then the beneficiary of this section will be richer. Then there will be problem of income inequality. So these kinds of problem is solved by the production possibility curve. Now what is production possibility curve is? Production possibility curve is the combination of two goods that an economy can produce given his all resources and technology. With use of his resource and technology, an economy can produce this much. This is called a production possibility. Or we say that production possibility curve is a combination of two goods or services services that can be produced by given his resources and technology. This is basically called a production possibility curve. Now the diagram of production possibility curve looks like this. This is the production possibility curve. Suppose 0, wheat, and this is rice. So this is the diagram of production possibility curve. As I have mentioned, this is the combinations of two goods. Now a question may arise, why this is two goods? One may answer, this is the two-axis diagram. This is not a three-axis diagram or three-dimensional diagram. In the two-dimensional diagram, we always measure two goods. So it is the simplicity of simple assumption is there. We assume that the economy is either produce wheat or either produce rice or both. There no in this economy there are we are assuming there are no third good, or this is not a three-dimensional board. So we are just assume the economy will produce two goods, either wheat or rice. Now combinations of production possibility curve says that it's a combination of two goods that an economy can produce given his resources and its technology. Then if an economy, suppose if an economy is tries to produce his all of its resources to produce wheat, tries to produce everything, every technology, every resource and technology being devoted towards wheat, then he can produce this much of wheat. This much of wheat. Suppose this is A, or A amount of wheat can be produced. And in another case, if the society assume he no more required wheat, he required only rice, then all resources are being devoted towards rice, then he can produce this much of rice. And these points, if we call point B, C, D, E, F, these are the points is called combinations of two goods. Now this much to produce or this much to produce or this much to produce is it depends upon your society. They are forcing you to produce. If the society is forcing you to produce both, then you are combination of something this point, because in this point we are producing this much of wheat and this much of rice. Suppose the economy concerned about they to produce to produce this much of wheat and this much of wheat and this much of rice, because they are demanding more. Then you can produce this much and suppose this much and this much. Suppose Q and P, OP amount of this wheat and OQ amount of rice. This is the combination. And if the society tell you to produce maximum to produce all its resources to produce only wood, then you can produce this much. Beyond this it is not possible, because the production possibility curve says that the economy can produce all combinations of two goods with his given level of resources and technology. Beyond this it is not possible, because you don't have the resource and technology. This is the maximum combination of an economy can be produced with his given resources and technology. And when we joining this point and find a curve, is called the production possibility curve. Clear? If we join these possibilities, suppose this is a possibility, B is a possibility, C is a possibility. Now if we joining these possibilities, we find a curve, is called the production possibility curve. Now clear? Now the question is, why this is looks like this? Why not this is looks like this, or why not this is looks like this? This is because of this production possibility curve is called concave curve, and this is because of this opportunity cost is increasing over time. Now how I am going to show you a table. Suppose this is combination A, B, C, D. This is wheat, this is rice, and this is marginal opportunity cost. Suppose wheat 0, 1, 2, 3. For example, I am taking more two rows. E, F, 4, 5 and 15, 14, 12, 9, 5, 0. Now you can see from that combination, combination A, what it means, the society is forcing you to produce all of its resources to produce rice. Suppose point here, suppose the point is rice, suppose this is point rice, suppose this point is, suppose this is rice and this is point 15. So what does it means? It means you devote your all resources to produce one good. You don't require the other good. Suppose wheat, you don't require. Your society is governing you not to produce it, because it is because the community is not consume the chapatis. So you are concentrating on rice and you are producing rice. In another case, if we produce all of its resources, if we produce this much, suppose this is 5, so you cannot be produce rice. In this case, the society is driven towards wheat and compromise the rice. In this society, suppose in this society the society is not eaten rice, rather they consume chapatis. Now these combinations are these combinations. Now adding these combinations, by joining this combination we find a curve. This is called a production possibility curve. Now what is marginal opportunity cost? Marginal opportunity cost, how we can find? Suppose this is 9. First we don't know about the previous one, then we get omit. Then in the combination B, what happen? To produce one more unit of wheat, we sacrifice, suppose kg, 1 kg of rice. To produce one more unit, 1 kg more of wheat, we have to sacrifice 1 kg of rice. Now next stage, to produce 1 to 2, 1 kg addition, 1 kg of addition of wheat, we are going to sacrifice 2 kg of wheat. Now to produce another kg of wheat, we are sacrificing 3 kgs of rice. Next 4 and next 5. Now you can see this marginal opportunity cost is over time increasing, and this increasing will lead to our production possibility curve is concave rather than this curve and this curve. Now this production possibility curve may be a straight line depending upon your society. If the marginal opportunity cost is equal, suppose 1 1 1 1 1, then the production possibility curve maybe looks like this straight line. Now our marginal opportunity cost is increasing over time. This will force our production possibility curve is concave. The reason is very much clear. Why this is concave curve rather than other shape? This is because of marginal opportunity cost is increasing. And this is the main motto behind the production possibility curve. Now this question of what to produce, how to produce, this is solved by this production possibility curve. Now the production of the question of what to produce, it's already governed whether you produce rice or whether it's wheat. It's already answered by your society, and it is already, we have already saw the society forces the farmer to what to produce, and from this solution is here. Next, how to produce. Suppose we are in this point within something below the production possibility curve. Suppose here. What does it mean? It means even if our resources are fully utilized in this point and something below from the or left side of the production possibility curve, this means underutilization of resources. Suppose you are ready to get 100 marks in your exam is 100 marks, and you are capable of getting 100 marks. But if you don't write well or don't read well, then you are not supposed to get 100 out of 100. In this way, if we have in this point, this means you are enough to produce in these points, but you are in this point. It means you are not optimizing yourself or you are not optimizing your resources, and this is because of underutilization of resources. So remember one thing, any point below the production possibility curve means underutilization of resources, and anything above the production possibility curve is not attainable, because the production possibility curve shows the maximum combinations of two goods that an economy can produce within his given level of resources and technology. So anything beyond this production possibility line is unattainable because you don't have the resources to produce this. But any point below this line is called underutilization of resources. So things are clear now. Now the problem of how to produce is also solved, and for whom to produce, that is a rich section or poor section is already made. If a community is produce more and more of these particular goods, that is luxurious goods, then it is pro richer class. Then the poor class will be badly effect on it. So there will be problem of income inequality. So these are these production possibility curves solve the basic 3 problems of an economy, that is what, how and for whom to produce. Now the question is, if the production possibility curve is in this way shift, what does it mean? It means the resources and technology is increased, and this increase in resource and technology will shift the production possibility curve towards its right. Now if any point left, this is our original, this is left from its origin, that means resources and technology are declining over time. This forces the production possibility curve towards its left. So clear why? What is the reason behind rightward shift and leftward shift? Now for example, take it one example, another example. If the production possibility curve looks like this. What does it mean? Suppose this is my original. This is my original OA amount of wheat and rice. So what this means, OB amount of rice is production in an economy and OA amounts. If the production possibility curve is rotate from OA to OC, this means the technology being used in the wheat is increased, and this forces the production possibility curve to rotate. Now, if it's towards its left from its origin, rotate from its origin towards left, suppose OT, this means technology that used is going to decline, and this forces the production possibility curve to come its left. In the same way, if the production possibility curve is this way rotate, that means the technology what being used in the production of rice is increased over time, then this will force the production possibility curve to rotate this way. And I am assuming the technology what being used in wheat is remains same. And if the technology used in rice is increased, then production possibility curve will rotate. And if the wheat technology being used in the wheat is remain same and its rice technology is declined, then production possibility curve will rotate towards its left compared to its original position. So this is our first class. This is second class of introduction. What we have learned in this learned in this class is basically the definition of microeconomics, and then microeconomics, and then what is economics, microeconomics, and then we have learned the opportunity cost, and then scarcity, the trade-off, and finally the central problems of economy, and a bit of how to solve the central problems of an economy by production possibility curve, and definition, rotation, shift of production possibility curve I discussed in this class. So thank you for today's class. Wish for next class.